What's a conspiracy theory in which you believe 100%? Coke switched the recipe to new Coke knowing it would fail. Then they brought back the original Coke with refined sugar instead of cane sugar to hide the actual change they wanted to make. That the Panama Papers were intentionally silenced in the media. It was revealed that the rich and powerful conspire to hoard masses of wealth in secret offshore accounts, and it was forgotten about within a couple of weeks. That modern products are purposefully built with limited lifespan, so manufacturers can always sell you new ones once in a while. That there is some gentleman's agreement within the industry that everyone should make products that don't last long, so all can make money. The planned obsolescence is real. See the light bulb conspiracy. That the journalist Gary Webb was right. The CIA did in fact flood the inner cities with massive amounts of drugs, particularly crack cocaine, to fund counterinsurgency operations in Central America. There was a lot in the popular press that debunked the story back in the late 80s and early 90s, but he's also another journalist who ended up dead. I genuinely believe you could put about 20 of the right people in the same room and control 80% of the US economy. It may not be the legendary Illuminati society or whatever, but there are a few super rich families running pretty much everything without impunity. This is also definitely happening, and not a theory. The wealth of ultra high net worth individuals, who number less than 500,000 worldwide, is estimated at over $50 trillion when taking into account offshore accounts. That's as much as the GDP of the USA, China, Japan, Germany and the UK put together. It's less than 0.01% of the world's population. They do run things. The one that says Ghislaine Maxwell was a prolific and popular editor seems kinda convincing and isn't particularly far-fetched. What's this? Can you share more? U/Maxwell Hill was a prolific redditor. If you look through their top posts, chances are you'll have upvoted a few of them, who not only has a username similar to the surname of Ghislaine Maxwell, but also suddenly stopped posting when Ghislaine got arrested and hasn't posted since, despite being a very active member up until that point. Further signs that it's Ghislaine's account include the fact that in the past they temporarily slowed down their posting around times of tragedy in Ghislaine's life, such as the death of her family member, mother if I remember correctly, and had also made some peculiar remarks about the age of consent. Majority of governments are just controlled by sets of opposing corporations with conflicting interests, which is why even in situations where politically there's objectively a wrong and a right answer, the public can still never find agreement because they are being gaslighted by their own elected representatives, and this is precisely how a lot of politicians want things to stay. Your phone and every single smart appliance in your home is spying on you 24/7. There is relatively small group of people that do world politics. Bilderberg Group is not the face of it, more like a hand of it. Democracy term has been hijacked decades ago, and it's just a theater to keep little people occupied. The rise in crime in urban areas from the 70s to the 90s was driven primarily by increased lead levels from leaded gasoline. The negative health effects were well known, but the car and oil industry blocked government intervention for decades. I know many people consider this fact, but most people I bring it up to think it's a conspiracy theory. I don't even consider them a conspiracy. Number 1. I think there is substantial evidence that the world is being visited, and has been visited for a long time, by some sort of extraterrestrial intelligence. There are just too many incidents, in too many countries, made by too many credible observers, over too many time periods for them to all be fucking weather balloons. Number 2 is that TikTok is a Trojan horse for China to both collect data on people overseas and act as a hybrid warfare agent to destabilize countries overseas. That oil companies are responsible for climate change. That they 100% knew what they were doing as far back as the 1930s, and that they have influence over almost every government around the world. They've bought politicians, they've sabotaged people who tried to invent alternate fuels, and altered the way that we build cities. Wars have been fought, and entire countries torn apart all in pursuit of oil. I'll give you a load JFK was killed by one of his bodyguards by accident after Oswald started shooting, and the agencies involved covered it up to avoid embarrassing themselves. The chaotic pullout of Afghanistan by the US was completely deliberate and was done to leave the Taliban in control, throw Central Asia into chaos, or to disrupt China's Belt and Road trade links. Certain countries around the world are deliberately stopping environmental legislation taking effect to stop global warming, because their countries would be better off if the world were warmer and the ice caps melted. The decision to invade Iraq and change the regime was done at least in part so oil companies could move in and start exploiting the oil wealth of the country. Ditto Libya. Thanks for watching the video. For more content like this, please subscribe, like, and share the video and push the notification button.